Good evening, Mr. and Mrs. America, our Canadian friends north of the border, and all our ships at sea. I'm your roving reporter, Smedley Butterworth, and this is 1938, Part 1, in Review. January, London. The Admiralty and Army HQ were abuzz. Unnamed sources have confirmed rumors of German U-boats moving deeper into the South Atlantic, with definite sightings off Cape Town and the Nigerian coast. Also, military intelligence officers have uncovered evidence of a massive buildup of light armor and self-propelled artillery in Berlin. February, Berlin. Chancellor Hitler shook up his administration by dissolving the War Ministry and replacing it with Oberkommando der Wehrmacht, or High Command of the Armed Forces, which reports directly to Hitler. At the same time, Herr Hitler relieved Army Commander-in-Chief General Werner Fritsch and replaced him with General Walther von Brachtisch. The Chancellor then fired Foreign Minister Baron Konstantin von Neurath and appointed Joachim von Ribbentrop as his successor. Delaware. A toothbrush with nylon bristles became the first product made with nylon yarn, invented by DuPont. March. Rome. King Victor Emmanuel III agreed to share his country's highest military rank, First Marshal of the Empire, with Il Duce Benito Mussolini. This effectively placed the armed forces under Mussolini's personal command. Chinese-Soviet frontier. A contingent of Chairman Mao's Communist Army marched into western China, taking over garrison duty after KMT troops moved back east. They watched with curiosity as Soviet prisoners labored to extend a railway spur from Turkestan across desert and mountains into Xinjiang. Moscow. Stalin approved a shipment of AA guns to the Kuomintang in Yunnan province. April. Vienna. With 99% approval, Austrians ratified the Anschluss with a national referendum. Apparently, news of the overwhelming majority left Herr Hitler speechless for several minutes. United States. Superman made his first appearance in Action Comics. China. Japanese forces counterattacked recent gains by Chiang Kai-shek's army. Imperial troops recaptured Suyan in the north and Hunan in the south. Following these victories, both the army and navy shifted significant reinforcements into Kwangtung and the South China and East China Seas. In response to the ongoing war, Secretary of State Hall stated that the United States will now impose a complete embargo on oil trade with Japan. May, Madrid. The Vatican formally recognized General Francisco Franco's government, giving El Cadillo his first real measure of diplomatic legitimacy. Malta. New fortifications protect the island from possible Axis invasion. East Africa. When your humble reporter was just a boy, a man in South Africa had a vision. A colonial adventurer, mining tycoon, politician, and philanthropist, Cecil Rhodes dreamed of a British-owned and operated railway running through British lands from Cape Colony to Egypt. With construction of rails across Tanganyika, the Cape to Cairo Railway is complete. Additionally, Anzac reinforcements arrived in Tanganyika. Paris. In response to earlier reports of a German military buildup, new units have been mobilized in the City of Lights. Hanoi. French colonials rejoiced at the arrival of foreign legionnaires. With tears in his eyes, the colonial governor told reporters, quote, "Paris has not and will not abandon Indochina. The tricolor will fly over this city for generations to come." June, China. To harass and confound Japanese occupation forces, Chiang Kai-shek ordered loyal guerrillas to breach the embankments of the Yellow River. The resulting flood killed nearly 500,000 Chinese, destroyed thousands of square miles of fertile farmland, and shifted the mouth of the Yellow River a couple hundred miles to the south. Inland, the Generalissimo withdrew the bulk of his forces to Xikang and Yunnan. Albania. Not to be outdone by Chancellor Hitler, Mussolini finally drew his rattling saber. Italian paratroops landed throughout the country, effectively annexing it for Il Duce. Thus far, the League of Nations remains silent on the Albanian matter. London. A patent was granted for the ballpoint pen. Southern United States. Ground and air forces gathered for extensive training maneuvers. Newly appointed Army Chief of Staff, General George Marshall, stated the necessity of hoping for the best while preparing for the worst. New York. At Yankee Stadium, heavyweight champ Joe Louis and challenger Max Schmeling squared off in a rematch. Louis knocked Schmeling out in the first round. And there you have it, 1938, Part 1, in review. Thank you, and good night.